Hello, 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 hello. Oh. Check something.
A better way to slice foam is with a hot wire foam cutter like this one I made from cheap and commonly available materials. This styro slicer uses electricity to quickly and accurately trace the edges of paper templates without cutting the paper itself. That means you can use styrofoam to make just about anything you can think of, so watch for how to build the styro slicer in another project video. Okay, now
hello, hello, hello. Oh, you're still a moderator, so that's quite cool. So it keeps you as a moderator, sort of like whether you leave or not. Still doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
Craters where you can see the extreme heat vaporizes the foam in an instant. This allows liquid metal to flow down and fill all the empty spaces, and if you quickly and carefully pour the other side as well, you'll have a much better chance of success on the first try. The metal only needs around 5 to 10 minutes to cool down, so feel free to pull it out and take a look. Just be careful not to touch it because it's still extremely hot. I cooled mine in a bucket of water, then chopped the risers off with a hacksaw. Just like that, we got ourselves a crude but very cool looking brass casting. Now just for fun, I wondered how this thing would be cleaned up a bit, so I clamped it by bench vise, worked it over a few times with metal files and some fine grained sandpaper, and bam, there it is. Just like that.
That looks sick. Quality.
Which for some reason feels really comfortable and strangely empowering. This piece of defensive jewelry has a really nice weight to it. Because it was designed to fit my hand, it really does feel amazing. But it's important to note these aren't intended to be used as weapons. Instead, I like to think of them more as multifunctional paperweights buffed to a mirror finish and designed to occupy my workspace as dangerously elegant decor. Now, just to push the boundaries a little further, I stopped by an alternative clothing store and picked up a spike-studded choker collar. So I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious. Let's unscrew 6 of the aluminum spikes and screw them into the rest of the piece instead.
What the hell? How have I got 3 messages when there's only 1?
The 6 holes were drilled using a 532-inch bit, then tapped with a number 1032 thread.
Hello, 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 hello.
Spikes tightly to the brass. It's beautiful, it's dangerous, and it's incredibly durable. To go one step further, I went ahead and made another one the exact same way. Well, now you know how to transform a few handfuls of scrap bullet casings.
Well, this doesn't seem to be doing well in terms of the chat.
Solid brass paperweights. They are a lot of work to make, but the feeling of creation and accomplishment is all worth it. By the way, if you're up for another challenge, try making my mini master sword. I cast this golden sword from styrofoam as well, and you can find the template for how to make it in another project video. Well, that's it for now.
No, chat doesn't seem to be working, which is weird.
Hey guys, I hope you learned something new, or at least
Ow, ow, ow.
Thank you so much for watching and sharing my videos. That is exactly why you are the best. Now, if you're in the mood to see another from
I am Groot. I'm Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Fuck. Ah, there we go. That's handy. Back. They never put Shang-Chi in. Who's Shang-Chi? mean, I'm a fairly big Marvel fan, but I'm not someone who knows everybody. I know who Shang Tsung is. Master of Kung Fu. I take it he's from Iron Fist or something. Honestly, Deadpool. Though when I played Marvel Alliance back on the original Xbox, I know, it's terrible. But when I played it back on the original Xbox, one of the characters I used a lot was Blade. So I'd want to be able to sort of like use him again, see what he's like. I want to see Magneto. He'd be good. Maybe a sort of like smaller version of like Thanos. That'd be quite cool to be able to play as him. And there's a few others. Like, I've got quite a few fans. Quite a few that I'm a fan of. Wolverine would be good because he's Wolverine. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu comic. I take it that, well, that's a Marvel comic I've not heard of, so I have no idea. But I don't know, there's a few sort of like characters. In terms of I guess sort of like costumes and stuff like that as well, sort of like taking things a bit, I want to see things like the Homecoming costume for, nope, never heard of it. I want to see costumes for like the Homecoming sort of like Spider-Man. I also want to see sort of like the movie version of Deadpool, just because of obviously how detailed it is compared to the comic version. I wouldn't mind seeing more of the villains as sort of like playable characters, because obviously it's the heroes, but if they added some form of expansion where you could play as things like Thanos, Magneto and so on and so forth, that would be quite cool. I know that people like Galactus would be I don't know, he'd be a bit different because the size of him, he'd have to be a boss. But again, Silver Surfer would be a good one to see. I don't know. There's quite a few characters. Is there anyone that you lot are looking forward to? Like, at least just sort of like trying out? Onslaught. Onslaught would be quite cool. But then, again, I guess, Bishop, Bishop and Cable, maybe Kingpin, and that's a bit of an odd one, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in it. Even if some of these characters come as like bosses or something, it wouldn't be too bad. Cable and Blink. Yeah, Blink would be quite cool. Don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really. Oh, Constantine. I'd want to see. No, not Constantine. Constantine's DC. Not Constantine. Not Constantine. Though that being said, I wouldn't mind seeing like a DC version of this. That would be quite cool. But I think there's a lot of characters realistically. Who? FF? Oh, yeah. To be fair, Fantastic Four, a group that should have been standard. I think they're some of the more original like superheroes next to sort of like Spider-Man and stuff. Dormammu, is that who you mean? The one who's basically encased in fire. He, I think, Spider-Man and Venom killed him in one of the animated program episodes. So like Dormammu would be good. Oh, no, it's not even connecting to the server. It's that sort of busted. Alright, I might just throw another game on, guys. Are you two PS4 users or PC gamers? For about 50 years. Alright, okay, so you're an older guy. Okay, that's cool.
So we've got a white disc here with this red pole sticking out, and another little gear here. It's like a turntable.
Okay, alright. Yeah, cool. Do you two play Paragon?
Until I introduce this panel right here that fits right in the path of this pole. And you might think that presents a complication, but as it turns out, it's a perfect fit. So what's going on here? Well, as with most illusions, the answer is a lot simpler than it might seem at first. And you just have to break things up into the individual parts. First of all, when the pole is passing through the hole, it's not passing through all at once. You'll find that the bottom of the pole is the first thing that's actually passing through the hole. So that kind of explains.
Has anyone been? No.
Straight line passing through all at once.
Nope. I've been sat here for well over an hour. Oh, there we go. It says it's connecting to the servers. No, there we go.
At each side. The next thing that really helps you understand this is looking at it from a different angle. So let's remove this panel. And when you look at this from above, you'll notice that the bottom of the pole is right near the edge of this white disc. Not only that, but the top of the pole also sits near the edge of this disc. And it's actually the very middle of the pole that sits closest to the center of this white disc. So when you think about that from the top and convert it to
Getting closer.
it might make a little more sense. Notice the bottom of the pole is near the outside of the circle.
No, it's just not.
Like the bottom of
What did you buy? I can't decide. Oh, I bought Deadpool. Without a shadow of a doubt. I've been a Deadpool fan for God knows how long. I want to see some of the other pools as well, like Dog Pool and Lady Pool and stuff like that, or even some of the more sort of like obscure ones. I think, is it Panda Pool is one of them. So I wouldn't mind seeing some more sort of like variations. I know that you can get, I don't know if it's actually sort of like his daughter, but I know that you can get like a female version of Wolverine in the lesser version on the PC. It's just because it's been out for longer. Yeah, I'd want to see all of the sort of like paws. I don't think dog paw would work overly well, but it would be interesting regardless. Is X-23 actually the one who's his daughter, or is that just what the film says? Because I'm pretty I don't know. I'm pretty sure his daughter is a bit different, but I could be wrong. I'm not the biggest sort of like Marvel fan. Batman and Bill. Okay, female Deadpool in a yeah, but Deadpool has also come into Deadpool has also met like the rest of the Deadpool family. The one where he basically, I think it might be the one where he tries to kill the entire Marvel universe. She's more of a clone. They had the female Deadpool in Heroes 2016. Fair enough. Well, I'd want to see things like Panda Paw and Dog Paw and I don't know. Deadpool core would be good. Very cool to see. I'm a fan of sort of like Deadpool as a whole, so that wouldn't be too bad. Oh. Red Hulk would be cool. I'd want Hulk to have sort of like a Bruce Banner transformation, and once he took enough damage, that's when he becomes Hulk. That was evil Deadpool from Universe 3, but our Deadpool killed him by using Universal Aside. Don't know, I think there's loads of characters. I know that Carnage and Venom are in the PC version. And a few others. Yeah, mate, they've been down, like, I want to say all day, realistically. I've been on this for about an hour and a half, and the only reason I've stayed on is because I'm sort of like, I guess, interacting with you lot. But yeah, it's been down. There's nothing you can sort of like do. It just keeps instantly now disconnecting from the servers. So they're hopefully trying to fix it.
Welcome back to Nexus. Every successful franchise is bound to spawn several previous on every corner to steal ideas from the real creative innovator.
Is there any other games that you guys are interested in? Like, I've got a bunch of games that I play and can play. So if there's anything you're sort of like interested in seeing, then maybe I can sort of like look into that just while I'm waiting for this to sort itself out. But as far as it stands at the moment, this is sort of like going nowhere. They make people pay and it doesn't even work. Yep. They're taking the money and running. Well, it's probably the smartest thing to do. The server doesn't seem to be disconnecting at the moment.
It's like saying because you've mastered every song of Guitar Hero, you're bound to be able to be a world champion competitive Street Fighter player. Becoming amazing at throwing balls at weird-looking mutant creatures in Pokeball training doesn't mean anything for Pokemon Go. It might even make you worse at Pokemon Go than you were.
It will be free to play. What you're buying when you buy one of the packs is early access. When the game will become free, it'll probably take a month or so. But bear in mind that when it does, all of the people that see that it's free will download it, and this will happen again. Or maybe they will sort of like bolster these servers and hope to sort of like keep a better connection than what it's got at the moment. So we'll see. But it will be a completely free to play game. It's just at the moment it's, well, it's a pay to play thing in terms of the early access.
Best-selling video game franchise of all time. Well, the answer won't come as a surprise to anyone. Of course, it's Mario, the Nintendo franchise that has sold well over 100 million copies during its lifetime. The copies of the side-scrolling platform are everywhere, and by everywhere I mean on app stores for cell phones and other portable devices. Of course, no mainstream console can get away with just ripping off the Mario Brothers, but on Apple, Android, even Google, you'll find hundreds, if not thousands, of Mario clones. And while some of them come pretty close, it's not exactly a difficult formula to replicate. Some of them leave much to be desired. While a lot of them have at least a consistent art style, the laziest and funniest happens to be the one called Classic Mario Jump, where you can skillfully run around in incredibly pixelated and saturated background to run away from old Microsoft Word clip art. None of it is remotely coherent, with some of it looking more like Worms or Angry Birds than a Mario game. And it makes you wonder who the developers thought they were trying to fool. Like, people wouldn't be able to recognize the iconic style of the Super Mario Brothers. Then again, all it is a side-scrolling platformer where you jump on enemies' heads and collect.
It will be free when it's, yeah, exactly. It will take a month or so. Keep going, it almost makes sense.
Number 3. On November 19th, 2006, gaming history was made when Nintendo released the Wii. There's probably not a single person watching this video who can't remember the mass hysteria caused when the Wii was released, with viral videos circulating the internet all through that Christmas showing kids screaming with joy when they got this console. While being inferior in terms of graphics and hardware to its competitors, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, the Wii was a pioneer during the motion control craze of the late 2000s.
according to one of the people, they have two forms of currency. One that you can collect in-game and one that you can pay for. The paid currency is the Gs, and the collectible currency is splinters or something like that. And what it will be is you can use the splinters to buy extra sort of like characters and such, where the gold will be for sort of like or the Gs will be for buying like upgrades, character slots, item slots, and so on and so forth. Yep, the servers are offline. This has got to be one of the worst games I've picked to sort of like stream. I mean, it gets a lot of response, which is good. Deadpool and Spider-Man, but only choose one at the start of the game. Oh.
And they're just tiny little LCD games like the kind McDonald's used to give out. Or you can buy kids to keep them entertained playing Monochrome Snake or Tetris for hours on end. They're at that level. They are allowed to exist simply because the technology to create video game consoles can't really be patented. Otherwise, one company would have a monopoly, probably Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. So all sorts of this cheap knockoffs exist. Now that you can really play the same games on them that you can on mainstream consoles, they have their own lines of rip-off games as well. Some of my favorites of the games that appear on these fake consoles are Munch Time, Piranha Man, Pac-Man knockoffs, Super Mario, a Mario clone, about 5 different duplicates of pole position but with different vehicles, and the laziest one of all, a version of Tetris simply called Brick Game. Yeah, they couldn't think of anything more original. And possibly the worst game of all to feature on these fake POP stations is a rip-off of a game called Submarine Battle from 1985, and infamously used genuine images of 9/11 on its packaging. Well, who on earth thought that was a good idea? Number 1. By far, one
Yeah, it's only the Marvel characters. You can customize them with items and weapons and such, but that's the only sort of like form of customization. And you can buy costumes, or you will be able to eventually, but at the moment you're kind of like stuck to sort of like a set amount of characters, like Spider-Man, X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, which is only Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon, but and then you've got Spider-Man, no, it says Spider-Man, you've got War Machine and Deadpool. I think that's it. If you buy all of the packs, so spending about sort of like £170, probably like $200, you get Iron Fist and you get the symbiote Spider-Man costume.
Overwatch is a name that's been on everyone's lips since it released last May. A game which provides itself on its smooth, high-quality graphics, its interesting and diverse characters, its range of
Yeah, more than likely you'll see a lot more sort of like Deadpools and Spider-Mans than just sort of like your own one, unless you're playing with friends. Like my mate bought the Spider-Man one, so when me and him play together, it will be just Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Some of the videos of this game on YouTube even had to be removed because of copyright infringement. The Chinese development studio were actually
Read on the PSN page that the symbiotic are timed only, not permanent. They're timed in terms of if you don't sort of like buy the pack. If you don't buy the pack within a set amount of time, then they will disappear from the deal. But the second that you sort of like buy all of them together and get the 2 costumes, or the Iron Fist thing and the symbiotic Spider-Man, they will be with you permanently. because it's an incentive to obviously give them more money. Like, you buy all our packs, we give you a new character and a costume for one of the characters you've bought previously. Yeah, mate, you're probably not going to get onto the server for at least another couple of hours or something. It's just yeah, not working at all. But you can buy characters in game using sort of like a form of currency. Xbox One servers are off as well. Yeah, it's just where the game's clearly spiked in popularity. A lot of people sort of like gone out and bought it, and because they're all sort of like rushing to get on the game, what it's doing is it's just causing the sort of like servers to implode. But I guess regardless of how sort of like popular the game is, game developers never tend to sort of anticipate how popular their game's going to be. And I know a lot of people will try and say, oh, this doesn't happen on PC, but the reason being is this may hurt a few people, and honestly I'm not really that bothered about it. But playing on PC is just a lesser form of gaming, for the simple fact that most games that become popular on PC end up being ported to the PS4 and even the Xbox One. Maybe in the future, maybe there'll be PlayStation Plus discounts, but as for the moment, no, there's no sort of like discounts whatsoever. You're either paying sort of like £60 or sort of like $70, or you're sort of like buying the cheaper packs, which are sort of like £15 or around sort of like $20. But I would imagine when they start releasing the Gs, like when they put them up for purchase, there'll be PlayStation Plus discounts on those. It's what they sort of like tend to do. They've done it with Paragon, they've done it with Warframe, and I'm sure they'll sort of like do it in the future for this. It's normally the way that it works, because then it obviously, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, then you're gaining extra benefits for playing this specific game. But 9 times out of 10 as well, when that happens, that tends to be when the game has actually been sort of like in beta long enough that they release it as a free version. So there'll be a bit of a wait for that, but I would imagine they will do. Played the hell out of Scarlet earlier, so everything's cool. As in Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. We had the same server problems when the DC one. Right. I've spent thousands of bucks on PC versions, so sick to my stomach now. Oh look, there we go. It's gone and disconnected again. So this could be either a plus or it could be just disconnected. Like, don't get me wrong, I will happily hate on sort of like PC gamers. But don't get me wrong, I will play on some sort of like play some PC games, but my preference will always be consoles, because consoles will always have better exclusive titles. Like, to be fair, the thing that I hate the most isn't actually PC, it's the it's Microsoft and any of their consoles. It's I was quite a big fan of the 360. I've still got my 360. But when it come down to it, it was something that when the Xbox One was sort of like revealed, I just felt shit. They always said this would never be on console. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I was saying about earlier. With PC games, most of them get ported to consoles. Consoles are so sort of like accessible now that any sort of like PC games that come out and are slightly successful will come over to the like PlayStation 4 and even the Xbox One. And the character that I like best, or should I say the character that I've bought, is Deadpool. So I'm sort of like looking forward to him. They won't port PC program. No, probably not. The reason that Warframe did is because it wasn't a PC specific company. So if I wanted to, I can constantly throw my sort of like Warframe progress back and forth. But as far as this game goes, because it was a bit more catered for PC, I don't imagine you'll be able to sort of like throw your thing back and forth, your progress. Realistically, I would imagine this game, like most others, like melee or range, it's gonna depend on sort of like what your preference is. Like, I'm someone who, if ever I play a game, I prefer sort of like close range characters because I like getting into the thick of the action. But I always find sort of like ranged characters can be quite fun to mess around with. So it's more down to yourself than sort of like what actually sort of ends up better, if you know what I mean. speaking gibberish, but yeah. Yeah, Beast would be good to have. I'd want to sort of like get into it because I'm interested in the sort of like, I know that the cutscene at the beginning with the Watcher was it was relatively sort of like high res, so I want to see what sort of like happens with that and what the story is, because if I remember correctly, when I played the sort of like PC version, see, Wolverine would be good for me. Like, when I played the PC version, obviously I used Deadpool on that. It just keeps disconnecting me.
Is it possible that they can make this original by any means other than just creating
Magic is the best player on the game. I have no idea who Magic is. Range, more area of effect. Melee, more damage to one target. That being said, though, people like Wolverine have widespread attacks, so they're not as limited in terms of their range. Colossus's sister. Okay, I didn't even know he had a sister. So that would be interesting to see what she's like. Who's the one dressed up as the Valkyrie? This one with the red sort of like ribbons coming off of her and the think is she some? I'm guessing she's from Thor's universe. Black outfit with big sword. Oh, okay. Right. That's quite cool. But yeah, who is that? Who is the one with the headdress? Thor's sister and Angela. Is that is that what her name is? Wow, they went super creative with that. Okay, let's. Fair enough. I mean, it's not too bad. Psylocke would be really good. She looks quite cool in the game as well. I don't like that Doctor Strange has tights on. She was in Spawn. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, Mrs. Marvel looks alright as well. I don't like the way Groot looks, to be honest. But Punisher would also be pretty good. That's a different Angela. Okay. Angela is Thor's long-lost sister that was dead. Fair enough. Or they thought she was killed as a child. Arangel Sim. Is there any characters any of you lot would want to see in the game that you haven't already seen in the sort of like PC version? Boo, this sucks. Yep, it sucks. Sucks a lot. But there's not really fuck all you can do about it. It's just sort of... Servers, man, come on, need to investigate Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde would be good. Right. Yeah, it sucks. It properly sucks. I was like really looking forward to sort of like going onto it and sort of giving it a bit of a bash. I know it sucks, I'm telling you. I know you are. But there's fuck all that you can sort of like do. But if the servers are down, it's their fault for not sort of like bolstering them the way they should have done. Shang-Chi, Man-Thing, Brother Voodoo. Okay, 3. Obviously you mentioned who Shang-Chi was earlier, but Man-Thing and Brother Voodoo, you clearly know the more obscure Marvel characters. I want to see Silver Surfer. And hopefully it doesn't take them too long to port Carnage over. But he may be sort of like a boss character, so what the fuck? Why can you go in game? That's some bullshit. Yep. Wait, I can't go into the game. I can't. All it lets me do is just sit here and just sort of like tap X. I'm guessing some people can't even get this far. I wish I could go into the game. I mean, it'd be quite cool to show you lot the sort of like start and everything. Vision would be good. Vision would be really good. But as I said, I'd want to see a lot of the villains as well. But it would be hard to sort of like have them when it's Marvel heroes. Yeah, Juggernaut would be... I think Juggernaut would be very... it's cool, it's cool. Yeah, it's just something that realistically, I'm guessing they'll focus on the heroes, and then obviously if you get enough fan demand from sort of like the people that are playing on console, you'll get sort of like some villains and they'll become playable. Do I want to play something? M. Yep. Cool. M. Of course, console servers are online, offline. It's nothing to do with it being console servers. I can play other games. I was actually thinking what to play. It's nothing to do with it being console servers. It's the fact that the games just come out on console. There are a few villains that crossed over. Yeah, I know, like Carnage and stuff like that. Oh, you actually want me to? Give me 2 seconds. Let me actually check. Status is PC server status online, PS4 status online, offline, Xbox One service offline. So yeah, there's not really fuck all you can do at the moment. Yellow Jacket would be good if they did him right. Agent Venom. Eddie Brock would be cool to see. Carnage is only team up. Alright, okay. Can I play a website game? I'm actually streaming through my PS4. So if I played, I'd be playing something like that. Wait, can you be my friend on Xbox One? Nope, I don't have an Xbox One and never will. Oh, Flash Thompson Venom is the agent one, right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it says like both console versions are offline. So there's not really too much that can be sort of like done at the moment. Oh, trying to see what to play. What game do you play? I've got a Switch, but yeah, my Switch is. Come the 28th, I will be playing a lot of Mario Kart. But what I'm going to do is within the next day or so, I'm going to get myself like an Elgato. Just so I can stream things like Shitbox 1 is very, very true. Yeah, it won't, I know. But the reason that I've stayed in it is because I'm talking to you a lot. So I'm obviously getting a bit of insight. And I guess, I don't know, if I'm making a good impression on you lot, then that's a good thing. Yeah. And maybe I can grab a few followers out of you lot. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if any, like honestly, as I said, if any of you guys are interested, then you don't have to subscribe. I'm not going to sort of like force you to. But is your Switch bending like others? No. I hardly play it. I hardly play it in handheld mode. I've only sort of like, I've taken it to work a few times. So no, there's no warping or anything. I've never noticed any sort of like warping, but I've never really played it sort of, I don't really play it handheld too much. I mostly sort of like dock it and then play it straight from my TV. So it kind of sticks or stays as it was when I bought it. You're on YouTube. I am on YouTube. Obviously, you're watching me through YouTube. No, I'm actually what? MHO. Oh, Marvel Heroes. Right. I see. Yeah. I'm streaming straight through sort of like my PlayStation 4. Alright. I see a lot of you guys are sort of like either sending me messages or friend requests, which is fine. I'm sort of like not someone who's against adding people. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Mario Kart. Just another sort of like week. Thank you, I appreciate it. Like, I'm really looking forward to Mario Kart. So what I'm gonna do is, in the next day or so, I'm gonna probably get myself an Elgato, because realistically I want to be able to stream things like Persona 5. I know it's a bit sort of alright, okay, I see. I know it's a bit sort of like funny because Nintendo and their sort of like embargoes and stuff like that, but I still want to be able to sort of like put out content. I probably won't monetize it. I'll probably just put it out to sort of like drag a few people in, and if anyone sort of like likes the content, then so be it. Maybe I'll sort of like build up a bit more of a fan base. But yeah, like, the only thing I'll sort of like say about myself, I'm not someone who has sort of like massive loyalties, so to speak. I tend to sort of, I don't know. I'm quite an angry person, despite how I seem. It's weird that I'm on YouTube and play. Okay, so are you watching me as two different people, basically? Like, you're watching me on your YouTube account and then watching me on your PlayStation Live as well. I mean, it's not that weird. It's just, I don't know. I would think that you'd pick just one of them. I can't use chat on YouTube, but you can on the PlayStation. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, in terms of myself, I tend to sort of, I'm pretty talkative. I tend to sort of engage, and I want to sort of like engage in sort of like anyone that's watching. But I tend to do that if I'm streaming. If I'm sort of like just creating some form of video and putting it on, the only sort of like talking that I tend to do is between me and my friends. But I would want to sort of like talk to you lot a little bit more, find out sort of like what games you're interested in. As I said, I do not touch Call of Duty, and I hate the Xbox. Why are there what tags? Oh, right. Because they've been in the chat since the beginning. They've been here for probably 2 hours now. So I thought I'd moderate them. They've been pretty sort of like decent. So they've actually they're capable of like booting people. But everyone that's here seems to be quite decent, so I don't think there's going to be any sort of like worries of people being kicked. But just know that I've got sort of like 2 moderators. I did. I put at least an hour into Skyforge. I unlocked the multiplayer on it and then sort of like went from there. I haven't sort of like touched it since. I recently re-downloaded Dungeon Defenders 2, so I've got that on there. I want that game to become free so you can get sort of like more people on it, though there's a lot of people that are still sort of like playing it from sort of like the beta. But yeah, in terms of sort of like games, I've got most of the sort of like popular most of the sort of like popular games that are out, the big ones, as well as a few that I've sort of like looked for myself. Yeah. Yeah, oh, you mean on the PS4? No, I didn't buy it on this PS4. I thought the fact that it was £30 was too much. Maybe when it goes down in price, I might end up sort of like buying it and playing through it again. But I'll end up buying the first one first and sort of like going through that again as well. But as for the moment, no. Like, I think this is the closest I'm gonna get to sort of like a Marvel Alliance game, because it cost me 15 quid, and I'll go from that. Like, is there any games that you lot play? Like, anything that you're sort of like enjoying at the moment, or anything like that? They were going cheap. Yeah, but that might have been England, mate. So the UK. That might have been a America only, like a US only sale sort of thing, because they change. I have Borderlands 2, but I've completed all of the sort of like main story, and I can't sort of like really bring myself to sort of like go through the DLC and stuff, because I played them on the 360. Diablo 3, I've got a few sort of like little videos, but that game, once I sort of like completed it, I ended up getting rid of it. Because I found the bosses on it to be like quite easily. I found the bosses to be quite easy. I played the beta of Wildlands and enjoyed what I played of it. But I haven't sort of like touched that since. Shit ending, man. Oh, that's a shame. But then again, it is an army game. There's not going to be some sort of like massive twist. I guess the ending in The Division was quite cool. The sort of like fact that you were fighting against a helicopter, and it wasn't just a sort of spray and pray sort of like boss. You had to sort of like set up miniguns which would take the helicopter out, which is quite decent. How many of you guys are there here? 12. Since there's a bunch of you, I don't know if anyone of you would know, but do you know if there's any way to sort of like stream 3DS games? Not really much on PS4 when you think about it. What do you mean, not much on PS4? In terms of games, there's loads. There's loads. Like, there's loads on the PS4 to play. It just depends on sort of like what you're looking for. If you limit yourself, then obviously there's not a lot. But yeah, in terms of I don't know, if you're just looking for one specific genre, then you can sort of like truly cut out the amount of games that there actually are. Right, I'm gonna play something, because sitting here, as cool as it is to talk to you lot, I'm sure if you are at least interested, I will stream whatever I decide to play next. So you're more than welcome to sort of like jump in and sort of like watch that as well. But as it stands at the moment, I don't want to sit here, like, because this is the second time I've streamed this, and this has been going for 1 hour and like 3 minutes. So I'd rather sort of like jump on something, play it and do that, or at least sort of like give this a break and maybe jump on something else. But I've got 100 sort of like plus videos, so if there's anything that you're interested in, I've played quite a few games. Boredom kicking in, waiting on Marvel, yeah, 100%. If I don't, it's been fun. Yeah, well, like, you and Ken are moderators, so it wouldn't be too bad to see you guys back in again, and the rest of you have been pretty decent. Obviously I've had a couple of like divvy bastards, but realistically not everyone's gonna be like super nice. So yeah, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can sort of get more and yeah, like honestly, like honestly, if you just sort of leave comments and such and tell me what you're interested in seeing, I'll try my best to sort of like put out more videos of that, and hopefully I'll pull in more people that are sort of like-minded. I got all to do, oh, nothing. Yeah, I've just got to try and find something that I want to sort of like jump onto. Let me go on the menu quickly. Let me see what I've got. I've got Minecraft, yay! No joke. What else have I got to play? Don't know. A bunch of different things. Can you play Monster Hunter? I'm gonna like look into more stuff, so who's if you're still here, who's element 27? I'll add you to my friends and then see what happens from there. Do 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 do. Let's see. Oh. PS4, Xbox servers are offline. Yep. Only PC is online. I know. Okay, element 27 is... Oh, fuck, that was cold. Right, I think, guys, I might just sort of like end the stream and then come back a bit later on. Thanks to everyone that sort of like stuck around. Like, I'm sorry that it was a bit more of a boring sort of thing, but I mean, hopefully I'll see some of you guys soon. Oh, broadcast. To Clifford, I'm staying. Okay. Well, as I said, if any of you guys no, I'll stream something else, mate. Honestly, if you're sort of like, if you're bored, then I'll sort of like look for something to play. But just what I suggest you do is turn on your notifications and then sort of watch to see like what I play next. Just give it a few minutes. I'll decide pretty quickly. So it means so you're not just sort of like sat there twiddling your thumbs. So yeah, if you give me a few minutes and I'll put something else on. But yeah, just turn on your like notifications. Alright, I'll speak to you guys in a few.